In the midst of a crowded family gathering standing on the balcony, Nora glanced down the hallway where a line of family photos graced the walls. Among the rows of beaming faces, one portrait stood out: Paul, her boyfriend of almost 3 years. His charm and charisma jumped through photographs, much like it did when they first met. Inside the party, there was laughter and conversation, yet Nora's attention was split between the past day's events and the ominous text messages his family had been sending her, each one more concerned than the last. Paul had a way with words, and not always in the best way. His temper would unveil during family interactions, subtle enough to be brushed off by strangers, but painfully apparent to those who knew him. "Where's Paul tonight, Nora?" asked Aunt Mabel, her eyes searching Nora's face for an answer she likely didn't want to hear. "You know how he gets sometimes," Nora said, playing with a charm on her necklace. "He's not feeling well, so he's decided to stay home." The room seemed to hold its breath, but not for long. Murmured concerns about Paul's behaviors hovered in the air. It's a tale the family had heard before. The fleeting apologies, the blended stories to cover his flashes of anger, his lengthy explanations to soothe her ruptured heart, but never quite enough. His typical outbursts, shrugged off by apologies directed from her lips, had become the wallpaper of their memories. A quiet bitterness brewed within Nora, a matched tempo to the clattering doubts that never softened even when she chose to ignore them. "Are you sure you're okay with everything?" her cousin Mark ventured carefully. "You don't have to act like everything's fine, you know." Nora's warm facade faded, replaced almost instantly with icy resentment. A defensive shield locked in place. "Paul's doing his best. We're both trying. You can't understand." Silence followed her curt statement. Love, or what was left of its convoluted form, wrapped in the fear of losing what she had grown comfortable tolerating. Deep down, Nora knew it wasn't love that knitted this defensive reaction. It was a fear of change, a fear of loneliness. Paul could be wonderful, his light sometimes overwhelmingly good, but his shadow, the anger, overwhelming in its own haunting reach. Throughout the evening, as people came and went, Nora's defensive stance became more a habit than a conscious choice. Trading peace of mind for a resemblance of stability was the unspoken contract she often renewed with herself. As the night drew to a close, she realized something had subtly shifted around her. Where she expected judgment, she received worry. Where she feared rejection, she found arms of family willing to hold. Perhaps it was time she realized that loyalty to someone shouldn't come at such a cost to yourself. In the quiet moments after the guests had left, Nora remained still. The silence of the empty room pressed on her chest like a weight, as she toyed with the ribbon of thought that perhaps perfect still wasn't loyal, but fear disguised in compromise's clothes. Nora understood the message. The apologies she constantly made weren't just for Paul, but for herself too, hiding the moments that sting, defending against the love she believed she didn't deserve. Perhaps it was time for change, a decision reflected in the glass of her half-empty wine cup, as she walked toward her future, this time unfurling with less apology and more truth.